Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having the opportunity to speak there. Annyeonghaseyo, and good morning to everybody watching from Europe. As Peter mentioned, my name is Gerard, and I'm responsible for the sales and business development of the products within the Xebec and High Gear portfolio in the Asia-Pacific market. What I want to do today is explain a bit more what Xebec does, what systems we have developed to accelerate the transition to a low-carbon economy, and how we can help providing solutions for different applications, and mainly also different technologies for different locations and applications. So I have two slides. It's a very short presentation. So on the slide here, you can see the product portfolio of Xebec Adsorption. We are, that's important to mention, a hydrogen neutral company. We have multiple technologies and different solutions. So from a technology point of view, we can really help advise on the CAPEX cost, the OPEX cost, but also the emissions related to the hydrogen or renewable gas project you want to develop. So I think we'll just go through one by one. So the first system on the left here is renewable natural gas. So we use pressure swing adsorption technology to purify raw biogas, which consists of 50% methane and 50% CO2. Purify that to a pure renewable natural gas. Renewable natural gas has the same chemical properties as your fossil fuel natural gas. What SHV also mentioned, the benefit is that you can use the gas in the existing infrastructure, which makes the adoption of this renewable technology really easy because lesser investment is required. So we have over 88 biogas upgrading plants operating globally. It's a commercial technology that is available. It's proven, it's reliable. We mainly place these systems at anaerobic digesters where biogas is generated. At farmers, at agricultural sites, but also municipalities that collect waste and organize waste. So for Korea, this is really a major opportunity because it's one of the world leaders in waste collection and waste recycling. It does a great job, a tremendous job in recycling and also separating organic waste from the inorganic waste. So the next step is to really get as much value from the gas or as much value from the waste that you have recycled. So I'll tell a bit more about that later on. The second product line is hydrogen generation. We are the world leaders in on-site containerized steam methane reforming systems. We have over 90 sites globally where we generate high purity hydrogen gas for different applications. So those are for metal production, glass production, food hydrogenation, or also now hydrogen fueling stations. But as mentioned earlier, we are technology neutral. We want to accelerate the adoption of hydrogen in different industries, and that's why we also have electrolysis technology. So depending on the feedstock that you have available, you can choose which technology you want to generate the hydrogen gas. If you have renewable electricity, it might be a better option for electrolysis. If you have renewable fuels like biogas, it might be better to go with a steam methane reformer plant. Apart from that, we also focus on oxygen and nitrogen gas systems using the same pressure swing adsorption technology. Then on the right, we have the gas upgrading and purification part. As mentioned earlier, we use pressure swing adsorption technology to upgrade raw biogas to high purity renewable natural gas. But we use exactly the same technology at slightly different pressures to upgrade hydrogen gas mixtures, syngas mixtures, or carbon dioxide mixed gases, flue gases, to high purity gases so they can be used in different applications. So for the markets today, as we utilize our technologies, we're using it for hydrogen purification for our steam methane reformers. We also have a few systems operational in Korea where hydrogen gas is generated and high purity is needed for fueling stations. But we are going to use the same PSA technology to capture, purify, and store, transport the carbon dioxide. Then we also have gas purification and recycling for industrial gases and spent mixed gases. It's a bit more industry specific. For float glass and metal production plants, they use hydrogen and nitrogen gases in their process, and after that they typically vent it. So what we do is we capture the gases, we remove the impurities so they can be recycled into the process, and that way you can save on your fresh gas consumption, and which in the end results in cost savings, but also emission savings, because you are limiting or reducing the amount of gas that you need. Then to talk a bit more about how we want to accelerate the hydrogen adoption in almost every country in the world. Everywhere where humans live or where activities take place, there is organic waste. Doesn't matter which community you go to, there's always organic waste available. And as mentioned earlier, Korea is one of the leaders in recycling this waste. So the next step is really to fully utilize the energy that you can get from this waste. So how can we do that? From organic waste sources on the left here. So that can consist of animal manure, food waste, agricultural waste, or sludge from wastewater treatment plants. If you use anaerobic digestion, or if you use an anaerobic digester, the microorganisms convert this organic waste into raw biogas, as explained earlier. And then we come into the picture. So what Xebec does is biogas upgrading technologies. We actually have one site here operational in Daegu in Korea, which was commissioned already in 2013. Where the municipality is generating biogas from food waste, and we take that raw biogas, we upgrade it to CNG or RNG, and that is used to fuel the local buses. So biogas upgrading, so the product is renewable natural gas that can already be used in applications for natural gas, for example in your gas grid, or what I just mentioned for transportation. But the other option is using this green fuel for green hydrogen production. Renewable natural gas has the same properties, so it can actually be used in existing commercially available steam methane reforming systems. So you can also produce green hydrogen by using a green fuel as a feedstock. Sometimes there is a bit of misconception into the market when we talk about the colors of hydrogen. What we always try to explain is that the technology that you use to produce gases does not determine the carbon intensity of your product. If you use a green fuel as a feedstock, your product gas will also be green. But if you use a gray feedstock, you get a gray product. So in this case, you can utilize the steam methane reformers that are in the market today because we are using a green fuel. So the product that we are producing is also green. So we have a couple of sites in Europe where we operate our reformers and using renewable natural gas as a feedstock. You don't need to make any modifications. We are also operating our systems based on Dutch natural gas. And actually, Dutch natural gas is one of the worst gases in the world because we have 15% nitrogen in our gas, so it's very low in calorific value. So actually using biogas is a more efficient way of generating green hydrogen. So what is the next step? It's not sufficient just to generate these new fuels because we also need to reduce carbon emissions from the atmosphere. So Xebec has developed carbon capture technology to capture and store or capture and purify the carbon dioxide coming from the green hydrogen gas generation systems. We are developing pre-combustion technologies, but also post-combustion technologies. So you can add on a carbon capture system to a traditional reformer, purify the carbon dioxide, and then use that as a product in the food or beverage industry, or you can store it in the salt caverns that we talked about earlier. You can not only do this from steam methane reformation systems, but you can also do it from your biogas upgrading plant. As mentioned, biogas consists of 50% methane and 50% CO2, along with some other impurities. So that 50% CO2 can also be captured, purified, and used in the industry. So what Xebec does is really bring these commercial technologies to new applications. We have multiple sites operational globally where we utilize these technologies for traditional hydrogen applications. Right now, the main aim is for fueling stations, hydrogen fueling stations, natural gas fueling stations, to really accelerate that transition to a low-carbon economy. And we hope that we can work together with municipalities, with governments, with gas utility companies locally to really utilize the value that we can extract from organic waste and start generating green gases domestically, so we also rely less on imports. Because if you can generate your own fuel, you should definitely consider that because you can become energy self-sufficient. So that was my presentation today. I would like to thank everybody for your time. Again, we'll have a networking reception at the Dutch Embassy, so please come visit us if you want to know more about our technologies. And I wish you all a very good afternoon. Thank you.